There is something that a lot of people get really terribly wrong about creatives in business. And if you have been listening to the wrong people, it may be affecting you. So, in this video, I'm going to talk through what it is that people get so wrong about creatives in business and look a little bit deeper so that you can see, is this incorrect belief affecting you? And then we're going to talk about what to do instead. Okay. So let me pop over to my outline so that I can make sure that I cover all the points I want to cover. So this topic came to me because this week I was having a conversation with another business coach about creatives specifically, about creatives in business. And this person had worked with a number of creatives, but he didn't really specialize in creatives, but he had worked with creatives, helping them succeed in business. And so we were talking about it. And as we were talking, and we were kind of talking about like common struggles that creatives have, something came up that he said that totally caught me off guard. And the thing is what he said is a very largely accepted viewpoint. It's something that I have heard before. It's something that I used to believe because it kind of was like sort of in common in the ethos of the business world. But for some reason, this week, when it came out of his mouth, it really kind of shocked me and surprised me. I think because I have been I have been in the creative community for so long, and I hadn't heard this sort of odd, outdated, not friendly to creatives viewpoint in a while. And so it totally caught me off guard. So what he said was he said creatives struggle in business because they make emotional decisions. They let their emotions get in the way. And then he said they need to learn to take their emotions out of it. There's not a place for emotions in business. And I was like, ooh, like somebody threw like a bowling ball in my stomach. I was just like, ugh. To which I replied to him, um, for creative people, emotions are actually a really powerful tool for business. And then he said back to me, well, yeah, probably emotions help creatives establish relationships, and they're good at that, but everything else they should just remove emotions from. I was like, man, this guy does not get it. This guy does not get it. For Obviously, this is in a large part why I think creatives are so misunderstood in the bigger world. Um, and it shines light on a much bigger problem that creative people should not be getting their advice and their guidance from people that don't understand them. Because if he understood creatives and the way that we operate, then he would know that, like, asking us to remove our emotions from a giant swath of something that's very important to us, our business, is would be just as easy as like telling us to like go become a fish or something like that. Like, um, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. And the thing is, the other thing that he didn't understand is that he saw emotions as a problem. He saw them as something getting in the way of success. And I don't see it that way at all. And that's not my experience. And that's not the way that I see emotions work for my clients, my most successful clients that are growing and doing amazing. That's not how they view emotions either. So, where he was seeing emotions as a problem and something that's getting in the way, I see emotions as an incredibly, incredibly powerful tool that is, in fact, probably one of your most powerful tools at your disposal. The thing is that emotions are incredibly, incredibly valuable to you your emotions, other people's emotions, that they are a big piece of the success puzzle for you. They absolutely are. Okay, so let's get into why emotions are incredibly, incredibly important, and you should be using them to help you make more money and help you grow and help you succeed, and why you absolutely should not be trying to remove them from your business. Absolutely not. Okay, the first thing, and I touched on this with the fish example, we can't do that. Creative people are wired to have strong emotions. Emotions are our language. It's how we relate to ourselves, it's how we relate to other people, it's how we relate to the world around us, it's how we relate to our work. Emotions are our key drivers. So to remove an aspect of the way that we function is just not helpful. It's not helpful at all. It makes way more sense to learn how to use these emotions that are kind of our superpower and one of our really valuable tools, and use them to our advantage. Okay? We should not be trying to change who we are at our core in order to succeed. I do not believe that anyone should have to change who they are at their core to be successful. I believe that you are put into this world to as a perfect being to be successful as you are. Now, are you going to maybe have to learn some skills or some other strategies or some things like that? Yes. But to fundamentally change who you are in order to become successful is not something I will ever buy into. So that's point one. Point two, emotions are literally the fuel that drive you forward. So your emotions are what move you to take action, right? So we know this because when you're really passionate about something, you're going to take action on it. You're going to speak towards it. You're going to move towards it. When you're depressed or exhausted, you're going to not be doing that, right? So your emotional state determines your ability to make progress, to move forward, to get results, right? So asking us to remove something that's literally the gasoline that drives our car doesn't make any sense whatsoever. We don't want to be removing the passion and removing all these other things. Those things are really important, and they're what set you apart, and they're what keep you like invested and loving your business and moving forward. Okay, number three, um, emotions are the thing that tell you which direction to go. So if you've been in my vision board class, which is insanely popular, happens once a year, we start with emotions. We start with desire. We start with feelings. That's because your emotions are the starting point for your direction. So you remove emotions, how are you supposed to even know where to go? I really see emotions as this bigger compass that gives you direction. And so we don't want to remove that. That's really freaking important in business and in life, okay? So, and the fourth thing is that triggering or negative emotions, which I think a lot of people are talking about this when they're talking about you should remove emotions, is they're talking about when you have negative emotions that get in the way of like making smart business decisions, whatever that means. But I think people are talking about those negative emotions and they're saying like, oh, we should just remove those. Well, that's not it's not really possible. They're there for a reason, right? Um, but this is the other piece of that is those triggering or those negative emotions are actually a sign pointing you to the work that needs to be done. I'm going to say this again. Those negative emotions, those triggering emotions, those emotions that cause you to sort of stop or halt um, or not make progress in a healthy, effective way, those emotions are a sign of what you need to look deeper at and what you need to work on. They literally are pointing to your path. So in this way, this is another reason why emotions, even negative emotions, are your compass. They are your guiding light. They are constantly pointing you and redirecting you and telling you where to go. And if we remove that, that becomes incredibly, incredibly challenging. You're going to be lost. You're going to be unsure, et cetera, et cetera. So let's get into a little bit more of what happens when you disregard your emotions. So if you're somebody who heard this growing up or has maybe worked with or listened to a coach that said this, maybe you listen to this guy, and you've heard this kind of over and over again, or even maybe you've heard things like, oh, you're super emotional, oh, you're making emotional decisions, and as if that was a bad thing, then maybe you're somebody who's unconsciously or even consciously tried to engineer your emotions out of the picture. Here are some things that are going to happen that are going to be signs that this is not a good thing for you. So, first of all, if you don't have your emotions to guide the way, then your only other option is to let your head guide the way. And what's going to happen is you're going to get all up in your head. You're going to be overthinking. You're going to be going in circles. You're going to start spiraling. You're going to just be going round and round and round, and you're going to be just like overthinking all up in your head. That is not where we want you to be. That's not where flow happens. That's not where creative energy happens. That's not where business growth happens. That is only going to block you and stop you. So we don't want you all up in your head. The next thing is you won't have that North Star or that compass to guide you. I already talked about why that's so incredibly important. Here's another big one. If you're trying to quiet your emotions and kind of suppress them so that you can be better at business, what's going to happen is your emotions, well, there's two things actually. One, your emotions are going to potentially get louder. So they're going to get scared. They're going to be like, she's not listening to us. And they're going to get louder. And when your emotions get louder, whether that's like under the surface or loud out in your like sphere of awareness, is it's this upheaval of kind of conflict, internal conflict. It creates a lot of anxiety. It creates a lot of angst, creates a lot of even this mild like panic and stress when your emotions aren't being heard, because this is such a piece of you, right? And so it's going to trigger stress if you're trying to suppress those emotions. The other thing is then that stress and that anxiety is going to shut down certain portions of your brain and your body that are the creative centers of your body that allow you to have higher level thinking, executive function, creative problem solving, all those sorts of things. So suppressing your emotions is actually going to cause this chain reaction of being able to approach and solve problems or make decisions. It's going to make it even harder. So if you have a hard time making decisions, that might be because you aren't very in touch with your emotions, right? And so that's another reason that your emotions are such a powerful tool. Okay, and here is the other really big thing, and I touched on it already, is when you disconnect from your emotions, you're disconnecting from the power that those emotions bring you in a business setting. So in a business setting, your purpose, why you're here, your bigger passion, your bigger why, all of that is a key driver in your success. If you are someone who's incredibly passionate and you're pouring into your work and you're pouring into your people and this is just like gushing out of you, that's beautiful. Those people grow and succeed and thrive in business in a way that other people can never. And I know that because you're a creative human, you have that in you. And when you disconnect from your emotions, it's really challenging to disconnect from just like a piece of those emotions. Like, I'm going to just disconnect from the negative emotions, but I'm going to keep this positive emotions. Like, let's let go of anxiety and stress and let's hold on to passion and purpose. It doesn't work like that. If your body is trying to suppress your emotions, it's suppressing all of it, right? And so you're virtually losing that relationship that you have with your deeper purpose, your deeper why, your deeper passion, your deeper drivers. And those things are invaluable in business. Okay, so we don't want that. We want you to be connected. We want you to care. We want you to care a whole lot. It's going to feel better. It's going to be more fulfilling, all of the things, right? So, these are all of the reasons why emotions are really incredibly important in business, and you should not be eliminating them, suppressing them. You shouldn't be thinking that they're bad in any capacity. They are there for a reason, they are there to serve you. The biggest thing is that it's really important that you know how to work with them, right? That is so, so, so incredibly important to learn how to work with them. So, next time you hear someone talking about like emotions getting in the way of business, or this isn't personal, this is business, that sort of language that comes from this like old school really masculine bro energy that's so not us, I want you to just think in your mind, they're not talking to me, they're not talking about me, they don't understand me. This might work for some people, but I'm a creative person. I operate differently. My emotions are a very, very important piece of the puzzle, and ignoring them is an incredibly bad idea. Okay? Think that instead, because that's honestly the truth. So, I have some more resources if you want to go deeper to understand the role that emotions play in your behavior and in your results, in your business and in your bigger life. I would definitely check out my last video if you haven't watched it already. It's called The Tool That Blew My Mind and Saved My Business. I go deeper into the relationship that emotions play on your actions and your results, and there's an incredibly valuable tool in there. And if you have already seen that and you are someone who is looking for an approach to business and growth and making money that works for you as a creative, then I want you to check out my most recent training. It's 5 steps to make more money in your creative business without stress and struggle. And I talk about my bigger strategy and steps for intentionally creating growth and success and money in your business. And it's specifically designed to work for you as a creative. So go check that out if you haven't already. Okay? I'll see you next time.